everyone. Welcome to the episode that deals with photo editing, cropping, composition, colors, caption writing, placement of photographs and photo features. I am Sakshi Mandwal and our subject expert today is Ravi Shankar, editor, National Affairs, Bhaskar News. Shankar has held several key positions with India's leading media groups such as Times Now, ANI Reuters, Television, Star News, India TV, TV Today Network. In this edition, he talks about photojournalism and the intricacies of photo editing. This chapter deals with photo editing, cropping, composition, colors, caption writing, placement of photograph, and lastly, about the art of photo features. Photo editing. Friends, in this course study, you will learn artistic and technical skills required to compose, produce, and process photographs and images. As a storyteller, photojournalist creates images to tell a new story. Pictures are potent story-telling tool. Photojournalism students can gain professional skills to specialize in photo editing and management. It includes photo editing, cropping and composition, color and caption writing, placement of photographs and photo features. Pictures are a standard and long-standing form for print, especially newspapers and magazines. Photojournalism is the use of photography as storytelling technique in a journalistic setting. It employs images in order to tell a new story. Till now, it was more of still images, but now it consists of video used in broadcast journalism. Photojournalists are required by newspapers, magazines, websites, and TV channels. Students may also become self-employed freelance photographers. They can seek freelance assignments with news organizations, picture agencies, stock photo agencies, and editorial photographers. All kinds of journalism require editing, and that includes photos also. Editing is a vital part of the process, and one who deals with pictures must know some of the basic principles and procedures. Photo editing includes selection, cropping, composition, enhancing and sizing of pictures. First, we shall discuss about the guiding principles of selection process of pictures. Selection. There are no definitive guidelines governing selection of photographs. Many factors go into the decision for using a photograph. There are two major purposes of publishing photographs. One is to capture the attention of the reader, and secondly, it illustrates and supplements the editorial content. At the beginning of the process of selection, the first purpose, that is capturing the attention of the reader, would most likely be the major consideration. What kinds of photos do people look for? There are some basic photographic elements photojournalists consider in the selection process, like quality of drama, emotion, definite or unusual subject, and art or technical value. The skill, value and commitment of a photojournalist can be measured directly by how close one is willing to get to the subject of a photograph. Photojournalism documents the emotions, drama, suspense and action of real-life events for diverse media outlets including print, electronic and online media. As storytellers, photojournalists create images, both still and moving, that document our culture, evoking both the momentous and the everyday circumstances of contemporary life and society. Photojournalists must acquire a sense of storytelling that includes an empathy with their subjects. They know that photography is more than technical knowledge about producing pictures and being in the right place at the right time. They apply the knowledge and experience they acquire. They look for what is interesting and they try to tell stories that are true to their subjects. A photojournalist must have a feel for spotting the good photograph, one that will capture the attention of the reader, illustrate the editorial content, and enhance the overall quality of the publication. The skill, value, and commitment of a photojournalist can be measured directly by how close one is willing to get to the subject of a photograph. After deciding about subject matter, photojournalists look for pictures that contain some of the following characteristics. A good picture editor must have a feel for spotting the good photograph, one that will capture the attention of the reader, illustrate the editorial content, and enhance the overall quality of the publication. After selection, photo editing requires cropping of photograph. Photo cropping. Cropping has two purposes: eliminating unnecessary parts of a picture and emphasizing or enhancing parts of a picture. Photographs often need some adjustments or enhancements. Photo editing software allows photojournalists to change the brightness, enhance the color, or even increase the sharpness of a picture. Scaling is the process of changing the size of a picture area by enlarging or reducing it while keeping the proportions of the original. Enlargement or reduction will probably be needed to make the picture fit the standard column widths of the publication. Some elements of a picture may simply be unnecessary to the subject and purpose of the photograph, and they have to be eliminated. Often these parts are not only wasteful but also distracting. A photojournalist must use the space in the newspaper efficiently, and proper cropping of a photograph is one way to do this. Good tight cropping of pictures is just as important as editing to eliminate unnecessary parts of a story. Likewise, emphasizing or enhancing requires when one photograph contains many pictures within it. Cropping is a way of bringing out the particular picture the editor wants to use, of emphasizing the part of the picture that readers should notice. A picture that seems ordinary at first glance may be made dramatic by good cropping. Once an editor has selected and cropped a photograph for use in a publication, chances are the picture will not be the exact size needed. Enlargement or reduction will probably be needed to make the picture fit into the given size. The concept of proportionality comes into play in scaling process. Photo composition. Photojournalists need to understand composition and subject matter and have a good sense of what constitutes an interesting, informative picture to be used in a news setting. They should have better knowledge of light, exposure and contrast. Most of all, they need to understand that good pictures require thought and planning and not just the ability to snap a shutter. Composition mostly refers to the meaningful arrangement of elements in a picture. If the elements are static, that suggests little or no movement, or if they appear as co-equal parts of the picture, they are unlikely to be very interesting to a viewer. It is so significant that it makes or mars a story. Composition can be used to arrange the elements so that whatever is important about the picture or whatever the photographer wants to tell the viewers is emphasized. One of the thoughts a photojournalist keeps in mind might be called compositional focus or emphasis. What is really important about a picture? What needs to be emphasized? There is a simple concept of rule of three, in which photographers think about the composition of their photographs so that they are more interesting and informative. There are the three kinds of photos. This refers to the distances the photographer is from the subject: long range, wide angle, or long shot. Sometimes these are referred to as establishing shots. They give the viewer a good idea of the environment of the subject of the photograph, but they do not offer much information about the subject itself. Second is mid-range or mid-angle or mid-shot. These shots bring the photographer closer to the subject and give more specific information about the subject. But they still show the subject within a setting so that the viewer has some idea about the environment in which the subject is placed. Many of the action shots in sports photography are mid-range shots. And lastly, close-up shot. The best and most interesting pictures generally are close-up shots. These pictures bring the viewers face to face with the subject and allow them to get detailed information about the subject. Close-up photography is what proves the worth of the photojournalist for the viewer. These shots give viewers something of value, something they would not get otherwise. Photo colors. The appropriate use of color in photography adds a dynamic element to your images that is pleasing to the eye. Its correct use will allow you to create photographs to be proud of. Color is the one facet of photography which we often tend to overlook and take for granted. Approaching color this way, however, is a big mistake, and a lot of us make this mistake because we simply don't know why color is important. We don't understand what role it can play in our photography. The fact is, color is as much a part of visual communication as composition and light. A knowledgeable, intentional approach, however, turns color into a powerful ally that helps us convey stories, emotions, sensations, and moods from within the photographic frame. Color theory is an essential element in the art of photography. Colors determine the emotional content of a photograph. You can establish the entire mood of a shot by emphasizing a particular color scheme. Reds and oranges are hot and exciting. Blues and greens are cool and refreshing. The deep running of a mountain stream or the freshness of new lush green lawn. Yellow warms us, from the buttery glow of morning sunlight to the romantic amber of candlelight. You can also use colors to create specific effects. With careful framing and camera angle, you can draw attention to a relatively small but brightly colored subject against a more subdued background. An Indian woman in a colorful sari walking down a dusty path, for example. The danger inherent in color is that unless you are careful in composing your images, bright patches of color may divert the eye to minor parts of a scene. If you are not fully aware of this fact while framing or composing color images, and later when post-processing them, you are quite simply not in full control of what your photographs communicate. Photo caption. Photo captions are an excellent example of the image-text relationship in a newspaper or magazine. Newspaper photos are the most silent hooks which draw the reader into a story. Captions feed the reader with information on people, time and places. Tantalizing snippets of detail that make the reader want to read more. Captions transform a photo into a news photo. Photojournalism is not just about pictures. Photojournalists are reporters, and they require gathering information and using words just like other reporters. Normally, these words are found next to the photos which explain the context of the picture is called in caption. Captions are necessary to practically all pictures because of the functions they serve: identification, description, explanation, and elaboration. A still photograph is certainly a powerful medium for non-verbal communication. The photos entice the readers. If a photo creates interest, the reader will stop and read the caption. Captions are necessary because, as good and compelling as a picture might be, it does not explain itself. It can rarely identify the people included in the picture or explain the context of the picture. That's why photojournalists must include a pen and notebook as an essential part of the equipment, and they must know what other reporters know about gathering information. Captions answer. Captions are explanatory and descriptive copy that accompanies pictures. A well-written caption answers all of a reader's questions. What is this picture about? What is its relationship to the story it accompanies? Who are the people in it? Where are the events taking place and when? What does the picture mean? The caption should answer these and other questions in such a manner that material found in any accompanying story is not repeated verbatim but is reinforced, amplified or highlighted. There are some general guidelines for writing captions. Use the present tense to describe what is in the picture. Always double check identifications in a caption. Many news organizations have got themselves into deep trouble through misidentification of people in a caption, so caption writers should take great care. Be as specific as possible in captions. Add to the reader's knowledge and go beyond what the reader can see in the picture. A caption is useless if it simply tells the reader what can be seen already. Try to avoid caption cliché. Looking on is pictured and other such expressions are trite and usually avoidable. There are two general principles which govern an editor's use of captions. One is that every picture should have some kind of a caption. The words used in the caption may be few, but they can add enormously to the reader's understanding of the picture and the story the editor is trying to tell. The second principle is that everyone in a picture should be identified. Unnamed people are not very interesting, and their presence indicates shoddy job by the editor. Captions are important because of the information they contain and because of the way they enhance the appearance of the paper. Captions should be simple, written and displayed with clarity, and they should be given the same attention by the editors that other parts of the paper get. The photojournalist's commitment to providing accurate information is just as strong as that of any other photojournalist. That's why photojournalists take great care to get accurate information they can include with their photos. As other reporters do, photojournalists check the spelling of all names and places. They quote people accurately using the words they say and the meanings they want to convey, and they do not trust their memory. They use a notebook and record information about their photos while they are still on the scene. Photo placement. A well-placed photograph plays an important role by breaking the monotony of text placement and leads to visual appeal of the reader. In conclusion, the photographs have high visual impact on readers. Its placement and size play a vital role in not only leading the readers to read the article, but also creates an aesthetically designed layout. Placement of photograph is a particularly important consideration for photo stories that appear on newspapers, magazines and websites. If the story is about an event or process, the natural order might be chronological, from first to last. The subject of the story may dictate another order, however. This is something the photographer should work out either before the pictures are taken or soon after. This should be one of the most obvious things in an image, yet many people have absolutely no idea as to where it should go. Most people take their subject and place it slap bang in the middle, thinking that this is the right place to go. How wrong can you get? Photo features. The photo feature is a news or feature story that uses pictures rather than words as the main vehicle for presenting its information and ideas. The picture story must be about topics that are inherently visual and that can satisfy the needs of the storyteller and the medium that is used. Picture stories are a standard and long-standing form for print, especially newspapers. Some of the popular magazines are made up mostly of picture stories. Photo features are still a powerful medium. Photojournalists who want to develop picture stories should take into account the following considerations. Central idea. As with any story, text or picture, there should be a central idea that can be stated in one or two sentences. Photo feature has given new life to the picture story and in some ways has made it an even more potent storytelling tool. Photojournalists who want to develop picture stories should take into account people involved in it, location, means, visual setting, action and movement, and lastly, about expression and emotion of theme or idea. Hope this has given you an idea about the importance of photo editing and related issues. That is all that we have for you for today. We hope you enjoyed this session. See you again. Till then, thank you and namaskar.